to drive because I was afraid driving on the right-hand side of the road, or I guess it's left-hand, right-hand side of the steering wheel. I didn't want to drive, and then one day we had we had like this little, I think it was a Ford Escort, and then we had the Ford Transit van, Greg and I, and we were going to Cradley Heath Stadium. I think we were getting a van painted or something, so I'm following Greg. Greg's in the transit van, and I was in the little Ford Escort behind him going down the M6, right by Fort Dunlop there on the M6. And Lance King was with us. And Lance King was drinking a beer, and he's like, oh man, you know, it's legal to drink beer and drive. And I'm like, as long as you're not drunk, you know. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, so, and Greg is just carving in and out of traffic. You know, I love driving in England because it's so courteous over here compared to California. You pass in the passing lane, and then you move over. And Greg was just going through traffic. So I was following him. And all of a sudden, we were sort of in the slow lane, which would be the left lanes, I guess you'd say. And then Greg got over real quick. And there was this car in front of me doing like 30 miles an hour. And I slammed on the brakes to this old Ford Escort. As soon as I put the brakes on, it was raining, of course, and the thing just went into a spin right there in front of Fort Dunlop. And then a lorry went by me, and we ended up against the guardrail. And I swear I just couldn't drive. I was afraid to drive for about 3 months. So Greg was pretty much my chauffeur those first 3 months of my first season.
Was it Greg's fault, the accident?
No, it's nobody's fault. Nobody got hurt.
That's cool. Brilliant. But in the early stages then, Billy, 1990 was your first season, and we mentioned earlier about how tough it was after Eric had obviously had his accident. But you made a steady start. I seem to recall in 1990 you won in your first season, did you win the Peter Craven Memorial at Bellevue? You won a major trophy there, and you did a steady job in your first season, averaging what, 6.5, 7 points for Craven?
Yeah, you know, it was, I did do a steady, you know, I made a steady start. I don't think my first meeting was steady because I remember throwing my chain the first time and things like that, but I had some pretty good meetings. You know, after my 3 or 4 meetings, I think I started scoring some points, and in those days you had to attain a 6-point average being an American on a work permit. I think it's 5 now. So, you know, there's still some pressure there, but it was, you know, being a young kid, that was a lot of pressure to know that you had to score, and not only score, but keep your job as well. So we attained that, but Peter Craven Memorial was a pretty big individual win for me, but I think the memories that I have, I think I remember one of my most memorable victories, my first memorable victories at Dudleywood Road was going around Martin Dugard on the outside and turn 3 and 4, and that was pretty special. And you know, Hans Nilsson was the man back then riding for Oxford, and Dugard was a young British guy coming up, and I was able to kind of overcome that. So that, you know, I got a lot of memories, but that's probably the most memorable of 1990 season.
And you got to your first World Final in your second year in European Speedway in 1991, which was the year that Yano won the world title in Gothenburg, and you raced in the World Final. That was a heck of an achievement to ride in that meeting just in your second season.
It was. I had some really fast Godden engines back then. Don Godden took an interest in me. I was lucky, and I think that was through, you know, he was interested in a couple Californians through Sean Moran, had been very successful, and Kelly on the Goddens, and I had some fast engines, and man, just the going through, in those days you had to go through the American final, the overseas final, the world semi-final, and then on to the world final. So it was quite an endeavor. It was much like the Grand Prix system is now, but it was a qualification system, and then the one-off world final. But what a great experience, because you know your world championship quest of my world championship quest of 1991 started in Long Beach, California, and then went on to I believe it was Bradford, England. I ended up getting second or third there, and then either got drawn to Rovno, Russia, or Abensburg, Germany. I was like, oh, come on, Germany. Of course, I got drawn to Russia, and went over to Russia and ended up winning the world semifinal in Russia, and that was just an unbelievable experience. And then on to the 91 world final in Ullevi, Sweden. So, yeah, great memories.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing achievement in your second season, to do that so soon, to win a World Championship semi-final and then get to the World Final as well. And all the time you're piling up the points of credit, because 91 then, going into the 1992 season, you were back, you really established yourself as a heat leader then up on the 8-9 point mark.